I don't know about you, but I hadn't realised how much tension I was carrying. Partly, obviously, because America is supposed to be the land of the free, but also, obviously, because a certain strand of British politics, and certainly British media, was so inextricably intertwined with Donald Trump that you had to sort of wonder whether or not you were the one that was exaggerating. If you have to share office space with people that cheerlead for a man who is about as close as the free world has ever come to a full-on fascist, you do begin to wonder whether actually you're the one with the problem. You sit there and think, well, no, hang on, maybe he's not as bad as I think he is because, well, you know, Chummo over there is taken the knee in front of him, or Chummo over there is going on about how it's great that he sticks it to the woke. Maybe he's not as bad as he seems to be. But then you see the man who was vice president and is now president describing in the most clear of terms precisely what Donald Trump represented. And there is that curious mixture of fear and relief. So relief that he's gone, fear that you were right all along and he was every bit as bad as even his harshest critics attested. I mean, genuinely history-making for the right reasons, in the same way that the inauguration 4 years ago was history-making for the wrong reasons. It is, what's the word that you want? I mean, what I'd really like to do is talk to people who fell for it, actually. I mean, I appreciate... I'd like to talk to people who still think it wasn't a white supremacist project, who still think it wasn't neo-fascism at its boldest and baldest. I'd love to know what it is you think he offered that wasn't simply gross. The Muslim ban, the ban on people from majority Muslim countries, it's a fascinating thing, that, because it was an outrage that was subsumed by the next outrage. You even forget the chronology, don't you? You forget the passage of time. You forget what came first. So did the disgust and the outrage we should have felt at Americans with a Middle Eastern heritage being effectively banned indefinitely from seeing their own families, did that outrage begin to dissipate slightly or dilute slightly if you weren't directly affected before or after he started putting children in cages or separating families and leaving children? The last time we checked, over 600 children. We should check again, actually. I'm sure that number's come down a bit. I pray it has. What got rid of the outrage at the last issue? Answer, outrage at the latest issue. And don't forget, the reason fear was part of what I felt yesterday watching proceedings at the Capitol was because there was absolutely no guarantee that Biden was going to win. If Trump had won, and I still think that without the coronavirus he might have done, you'd have had at least another 4 years of this evil and possibly, generations of it. It is absolutely breathtaking how close we came to the sort of country, I'm talking about America, but I'm afraid however much they may try to wash their hands, you and I could probably make a fair stab at naming people from the right wing of British politics and the right wing of the British media who weren't just closing their eyes to Trump's depravity. They were cheering it along. They were loving it. They were absolutely loving it. And that fear of how close we came to the kind of country that I thought we'd only ever read about in history books. You sort of forget about Franco and to a lesser extent, no, not Tito, that wouldn't be fair, but you forget about the military coup in Greece. European countries, post-Tito Yugoslavia, you look at just how much how close to the edge societies and civilizations always are. You know what the Romans used to say, bread and circuses will keep the plebs distracted, and if their bellies are full and they've got something to cheer and laugh at, then they will be quite a pliant population. But when politics becomes the circus, things get incredibly, incredibly ugly, incredibly dangerous.